my name is Laura. Meet my new favorite book. I just yesterday, in 3 hours, read the whole book, and it's my new favorite about my hair. Sorry, I tried to make something fun because I like long hair enough to be able to use hairpins. However, I look boring with long hair, at least I think, and I tried to spice it up, and it's not going really well. So there, I will try to make first part without spoilers, and we'll then talk about plot. So I pick up this book because it was highly recommended by quite a few booktubers. They were praising it. It takes so many people out of slump. It's just beautiful writing. So I was super intrigued by that because usually where people describe books, they at least like it's good book or, but this one really great reviews. That's our first reason. Maybe actually it's like the only reason. No, the premise sounds so interesting as there is this reclusive Hollywood icon Evelyn Hugo. She's in her older age, however, she was like super famous, super popular. I think she's a bit remind me of Marilyn Monroe. I believe it's even the same period. She's also blonde, but it's not her natural hair color, and it's her signature look. So yeah, that's I think it's inspired a bit by that. And this star, she has this glamorous, scandalous life. However, she finally wants to tell her story, to ask a reporter to write her basically autobiography. And this book is her telling her story. And we start from very young age, basically from her childhood and to the present days. And usually when it's like whole period of life, I'm a bit I'm not super interested because people have life different stages. Like usually childhood maybe not so interesting, or they have like these mid years that they just I don't know work, and we just read a lot about their anxiety and problems like mundane. So I feel it's really hard to make it even and interesting on all stages of life. However, it's greatly done here. I choose it for a prompt, for a challenge of morally Greek character, and it's to be discussed if it can be considered morally grey, but I think there are some elements like that. So yeah. What else? By the way, they have a really interesting topics and questions for discussion in the end of the book. I think it's every edition. And it's basically questions you can ask to analyze book or to discuss in your book club. Or if there is even enhance your book club to make it thematic, which like amazing. I wish more books had like few pages like that, because after I finished it, I read until like I missed that. I haven't like missed this part. Because like when you read like whole pages, sometimes maybe skim one word and you missed. I don't think it's much of a spoiler, but basically one of the questions, like several times, Evelyn mentions having cosmetic surgery. It's one of the questions that has to be discussed, and I haven't read it, where it was. So yeah, I'm definitely going to reread it again and give it like 5 stars. I would give it more if it would be possible. So it's what's it about, except that it's about life as a woman. I think it has some really great themes. It's not just scandalous life of a woman. First of all, there are like feminist issues, how basically it's not our age, so some of the issues are even more prominent. There are uh, topics of abuse, topics of friendship, and how women are described in media a bit. Like, it's not the most prominent feature, but it's mentioned. Then there are a topic of women's sexuality, how it's perceived. What else? By the way, there are LGBTQIA plus in this book. Like, it's not just mentioned somewhere. There are enough prominent characters who are LGBTQIA, and it's like big thing in the book. I didn't know that. I saw it in description of book and storygraph. However, I thought it will be like maybe one detail, maybe one thing, but it's like quite a prominent feature. Like, it's not maybe, I don't think it's the main thing, but it's more prominent than just thing. What else? It's also like interesting exploration of relationships, because we showed a lot of relationship from start to finish, and as different stages of all her 7 husbands. We also shown that marriage is not always about love, and I think it's really important, because there is this notion in our world that people marry for love, and it's like great if you want to, if it's truly love. However, I believe there are quite a few marriages there where they do not say it out loud, but they marry for status, for convenience, because they want to have children, because in our economy it's hard to pay for accommodation and utilities. Like, there are different reasons for marriages, and like each marriage I couldn't judge her for any of those. Like, she had her reasons. She married for love, she married for status, she married for different reasons. And by the way, the book is divided by all her 7 husbands. So actually there is also this interesting commentary about that she has asked a question. Is she okay that basically one of the prominent features about her is that she had 7 husbands, and there's like really witty answer from her. Like, I do not want to spoil much, but I loved it so much. Actually, in my school years, I read a lot, and almost every book I read was my favorite. I mostly read fantasy. However, I had really limited books available for me, so maybe there was a scarcity, maybe because I was just starting reading, and I was like, I could read like a few books a day, and often do not remember much of the plot. However, like, I read a lot, and I always had these favorite books. However, like in my later years, in my 20s, and during book I might be even very enjoy them so much, but usually I either enjoy the idea of them. Like, for example, I love Alice in Wonderland, but I love it more as a concept, because the plot is not super interesting. However, I love to think about this world, about this madness, and some interesting questions that actually have no answer, because it's a genre of absurd, where you can give them some meaning, and there are so much new art and new media is created from it. There are movies, there are games, and they already made it like. There are some that I love on this level. Like, I love the idea of the book maybe more than, or then there are like something like Harry Potter and Sherlock, which, like, the book itself, after actually when I read it recently, there are problems. It's not the most interesting maybe plot. Like, it's good. Like, our first 18 times reading both of those books, it's amazing. Especially, I don't know. I'm not sure how it react reading it for the first time in my 20s, but like, I did love it, but now I love them more for fandom, for the whole new genre of fanfiction, of art, of reimagining of the story. In case of Sherlock, it's a new series and so on. And that's probably the first book in quite a while, like maybe 5 years, maybe even more, which I read and I truly loved. I loved the premise, I loved reading it, which actually also important moment because sometimes the idea is interesting, but reading is like, oh my god, when's this page? Like sometimes it's really hard just to get, because reading is hard. Like there are symbols you have to combine in words, and you like reading is really weird. You look at some ink on paper and it transformed into something in your head. Like so. And I enjoyed reading. I loved the premise. I liked it even after I finished it. So I think I will remember it even after a while, and I would like to reread it as well, because some books, especially like mystery maybe and detectives, it's because it's one of my favorite genres, or just where there is like some mystery. By the way, there are like a bit of mystery in this. It's maybe not a mystery, but there is a plot twist. And sometimes when you learned what those plot twist is about, here do not want to read again, because that's mainly what the book is about. But here, yeah, I think it's would be even great to read it second time. So, yeah. While this book is basically about the woman who is ever unjudged, I couldn't judge her like not a single time. Usually when there were moments when maybe she was judged by others, or even she was judging herself, I was thinking, it's really complex question, or really complex situation. I'm not sure what would I do. Also, would say it's not super happy in the end. I wouldn't say it's sad ending. Like I wasn't sad that it's how it's ended, but it's the story of all her life, and I don't think it surprised anyone that there is some sadder moments in her life. But there are also happy, like there are quite a few periods of her life when she was happy, and she also quite a woman who do not regret a lot of her choices. She said that maybe not of them were the best, but she does not regret, and I think it's amazing, because often when we are told the story of a character, it's like, say, angst and drama, and they were sad from childhood to their death, and they're like, why am I reading it, why am I suffering? So basically this is amazing. I will not shut up about it. By the way, how could I forget, she's a woman of color, she's Cuban. It's like all check boxes were ticked. There are LGBTQ, there is women of color, there's also one of the topics, again, not the most prominent one, but which has place in the book, is her relationship with her race, because in the time to be in Hollywood, there were like white women, and basically she was passing a lot, and then there is a moment when she I'm not sure how can I say exploration, but basically when there are these topics. So to sum up, the book is amazing. I gave it 5 stars. Absolutely recommend. I even left quite a few comments on the how's this part, like empty part on the side of the book out. No idea. But like I have parts with like hearts, because I was like, oh, it's so cute. I couldn't even put it into words. So yeah, this is amazing. Absolutely recommend. I will try to read this another her book, Daisy Jones and the Six. because I heard it's quite similar. Because other her books are quite different. However, I'm not sure I will enjoy it as much because this one I believe is about oh my god, about musician, and I'm not as interested in that topic. So like the prompt in itself doesn't excite me as much. However, I heard almost exact reviews, like amazing and so on. And I will look into other books of Taylor Jenkins Reid, but amazing. If someone watches video to the end, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm pretty sure that no one will watch it because I just started and I'm doing it on crappy laptop camera because even my phone does not record good audio. And audio probably is crappy too, but if you watch it, I do appreciate it. I'm mostly talking about books right now, but I just want to share my opinions and emotions. So if you watch at least something, although you probably wouldn't watch this at some moment, I'm super appreciated. And if you would like to discuss, maybe have a book club about this book or have any other recommendations, I would really appreciate it. Thank you. Bye.